Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
The most potent thing to change a man's behavior is usually the woman standing in front of him, if she knows how to handle the insecure male ego. When you elevate your behavior, your way of being as a woman, everybody around you elevates with you.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on visibility strategies for women entrepreneurs. If you want to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice and business, you're in the right place. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, professional singer and visibility strategist. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode.
Burnout doesn't just exhaust you, it silently erodes your most important relationships. Aurora Method Coaching helps high-achieving women uncover the root beliefs driving their relationship conflicts and burnout and move from emotional reactivity to calm, clarity, and confidence. Ready to restore connection? Book your free consultation at meetwithtracy.coach.
Hi, James. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, Marta, it's an absolute pleasure.
Yay. I am so excited to introduce you to my audience. Why don't you do the honors and tell us who you are and what you do?
Well, so I'm based in the UK. My name is James Dakin, and for about the last 30 odd years, I've been a transformational and leadership coach to businesses and people around the world. But about 3 years ago, my life took a completely different turn. And I now find myself coaching the most remarkable women all over the world to deal with the behaviors and impact of insecure men, generally in leadership roles, because that's when we seem to come up against them. And I can honestly say that's not something I ever saw coming.
Interesting. I love the pivot. Now I need the story behind it and the backstory behind the transition.
I mean, as the more discerning viewer and listener will understand, I am a man, and I've just written a book for women, which is the big elephant in the room, because that can sound, I mean, I am mid-50s white male. I am the poster boy for the patriarchal nonsense that I'm sure the majority of your listeners know all too well. But I grew up in the 1970s in the north of England, and I had a very alcoholic, abusive father who caused irreparable damage to my mother, my sister, who were the two most critical women in my life at the time, and myself in different ways. And what I never realized until recently was there were the seeds of what has become my purpose and passion now. And because I wasn't able to do anything about it, I mean, I didn't know as a small boy, but getting older, because I couldn't do anything about it, there was a powerlessness in the understanding of what happened, and an abhorrence as to what they went through. And over the years, I've never known what I wanted to do with my life. I've never had a career trajectory or career path, but I've always had an ability to help people improve their life if they wanted to empower people. As somebody once said it, James, I wish I could see myself through your eyes. Because I've always had this ability, which came from dealing with my father's abuse, of being able to read people exceptionally well, but not just what they are or aren't doing, but who they are. Because when I was a boy, understanding the mood my father was in was critical to being able to survive. And as I grew up into life chronically insecure, I mean, the patriarchy is the most extraordinary thing. It damages men and women. And the damage it does to boys growing up into men is that we have our emotional development arrested as boyhood. And so I grew up as a chronically insecure man, wanting external validation, not truth, and all of that nonsense. And it drove a load of behaviors. And then had children. And then about 10 years ago, my partner at the time turned around to me, and she's now my ex, but she's my closest friend. It's a very wonderful thing. And she just turned around to me one day and said, James, I hope our daughter never grows up to meet a man like you. And I hope our son never grows up to become a man like you. She didn't say it with any anger. She didn't say it in an explosion. She just said it, as I now understand, from a place of love and desperation. And these moments happen to most of us in life where we have an opportunity to change course. And whether we take them or not, of course, is the challenge. But those words, I could not escape those words because part of me knew they were true. Part of me didn't have a clue what to do about it. But, for the sake of my child or my children, my daughter, my son, myself, and any woman in my life, that was the point I knew something had to shift. And so with my upbringing from my parents, that moment which galvanized who I was now going to stop being and start becoming, that was the direction of travel. And then 3 years ago, I went to a program called Mind Valley University, which a lot of your listeners will probably have heard about.
Yeah.
And over the last 3 years, what came out was a completely new, it wasn't a new direction in terms of I still work with corporates, large, small, the normal sort of story. I still coach them. I still coach executive boards and the so forth. But the healing the divide is the work that I call it. And it's the generational divide. It's the gender divide, rather. It's how do we stop the damage? And so everything that I had learned over 30 years of helping people transform their lives, of becoming everything they were, coalesced and sort of coincided with this moment. And I wrote a program called Turning the Tables. And it's how women deal with me, or the man I grew up to be. And it was based on working in the railway in the UK, very patriarchal, very, very sexist, very misogynistic, traditional industry, sort of heavy industry type thing. And the women would be coming, and these were amazing women, talented women, brilliant women, coming to me with stories that they couldn't deal with. How do I deal with that man? How do I cannot work with that man. How do I? And I was working with them, and I would come up with ways that I thought it would transform the relationship for them. Not really thinking a lot of it, if I'm brutally honest, Marta. But as a nosy, inquisitive male coach, I just try this. Yeah. And then they began coming back to me saying, oh my God, it's worked. It's transformed the relationship, or he has a personality. And it was at that point I began to and I remember this thought as clear as daylight, because of the amount of caveats I had in my own internal thinking process. And on about the fourth woman, she was called Vanessa. And Vanessa came to me with a story and told me it had transformed a relationship at work and her world was better for it. And I remember thinking, maybe, possibly, I might just have something of value here for women dealing with men in authority who are often nice men with bad habits, but there can be more difficult characters, obviously. But where the women are making themselves smaller than they know themselves to be, being spoken over, being taken for granted, not being included in the conversation, not being asked for an opinion, speaking in a meeting, but then having another male colleague say the same thing, and that man getting the praise for saying what she's just said.
Yeah.
Being constantly talked over and interrupted, having to work twice as hard in order to have parity. Being a mum, turning up for work and being asked who's looking after the children, whilst her husband or partner turns up, fantastic being a dad, how's your wife, is she looking after the kids? Yeah. The double standards, once I began to look into this and explore my upbringing, where I learned this from, and just opened up this chasm of self-awareness, which has been the most excruciating experience of my life. Because looking in the mirror when my partner said those things to me, I didn't like what I saw, and my insecurity I had created a persona based on how I hoped the world saw me, based on avoiding chronic insecurity. And so that journey to overcome that, which will be a lifelong journey. I mean, I'm under no illusions. I will be doing this for the rest of my life, Marta.
Mhm.
However, it appears by some random sort of moment of divine intervention that I've made enough progress to be able to put that knowledge, that wisdom, that experience into a book that is designed to help women understand what they're up against, because they're up against a system which is designed by men for men. It's designed to keep women out and down.
Yeah.
And the behaviors that we drive women to do in exasperation are designed to keep them out. So actually what I've learned is I've learned how to undo that system from the inside, which won't work for every woman with every man, admittedly, but everything that I've poured into the program, everything I've poured into the book has only made it because it's been used by multiple women in the real world when it matters most, and it's worked. So in a wonderfully long-winded answer, that's what I now do.
Oh my goodness. I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story so vulnerably from childhood, but also what your partner said and how that transformed your journey and how you've been transforming people's lives as you've been understanding your own journey, as it usually goes, right? It
Yes.
has everything to do with what we go through, and then we can mentor people. And then we start seeing that it works. I love the whole process. So thank you for sharing all of that. I would love for you to share more about the program and then also the book. Who specifically is it for? Obviously, you've shared the women that you've worked with and that has worked. But can you be a little bit more specific so that our listeners can be like, okay, that's
Sure.
definitely me and I want to go check it out?
Hey, let me ask you a question. Would you like to be my next guest on the Empowered Woman podcast? Do you have a story you'd like to share? Want more visibility for your business on a show ranked in the top 0.5% in the world? Well, then head on over to martaspurk.com/podcast guest for more information.
That in itself has been a very interesting journey, because my passion, which came from my childhood, but I hadn't registered it then, was that any woman I can reach shouldn't feel powerless in the face of male insecurity ever again. That's my mission. And I understand how to do that. So when this was coming to me, and I mean, I'm not a religious person, spiritual, but not religious, but I genuinely mean it when I say all of this program was given to me. And your listeners can make of that what they will. But I feel as though this came to me. And when I was writing it, it was for all women. It was for any woman who is dealing with the experience of feeling less, behaving smaller than they know themselves to be, being less than they know themselves to be, and wanting that to stop. They want to be free to live the life on their terms. That was the initial one. As I began to physically write the program and the book, it was on the back of corporate women who were dealing with corporate relationships. It was the same dynamic, but it was in a corporate setting. Now, the difference there was these men were often in positions of authority, which meant that if you went up against them, they could make your life very, very difficult, professionally speaking.
Right.
And so what I discovered when I was writing this book was a process that I call change without confrontation, because women often get two options. You either put up with the nonsense you're dealing with, and that is you play small, you agree, you smile when you want to scream no, you let the man take the applause when you're seething inside and you're going, yes, well done, John. Fabulous. Thank you for saying what I just said 5 minutes ago and getting the praise. No, don't take it. Don't. No, honestly, you take it. All of that nonsense. Or you confront it. Now, the difficulty with confrontation is, and I'm going to use the word insecure man. Now, in the book, I talk about insecure men. I mean, it's part of the title. And insecure men are men who have, at some point early in their life, had a degree of their emotional development arrested, generally through some form of trauma, some form of messaging, something that was unhelpful. And so you're dealing with this boy, but you have a 45-year-old man in front of you, or a 55-year-old man in front of you. And women feel something is wrong. They know something is wrong, but their eyes and their ears don't join up the problem. So when you're in the boardroom, you're in a senior meeting, you're with clients, you're with colleagues. So many women I work with know something's not right because they feel it. And they often feel it as a contraction. What they describe to me is some form of contracting, but they don't understand it. They don't have the words to explain what they're up
Right.
against. And that's what I provide. So the book in my head, when I wrote it, was for kind of 35, 55-year-old professional women.
Okay.
What I wasn't prepared for was a couple of women that I was coaching who were students, university students, 22, 23. One of them read the book, shared it with her friends. All of a sudden, huge amount of interest from that generation in this. I didn't expect that. Why would a 21-year-old young lady listen to a 125-year-old man from England kind of thing? But they're so clued in to how men are now behaving that it can be applied to them. And then the amount of women that I've coached who've been in personal relationships and they've been wanting to get out, not because the man's horrible. And actually on each occasion, the man has been a very loving man, but the relationship's not right for them now. And so helping them deal with maybe their cultural, societal, familial challenges of that. Because look, my whole life has been based on my insecurity. My whole life has been around helping people feel amazing about themselves. As I've grown in my confidence and security on my journey, and now that I've reached the ripe old age of old, or as somebody called me the other day, an elder, I have no idea what they said for the rest of their monologue. It was deeply touching, apparently. All my head heard was, "Elder, when did that happen?" Anyway, I've got over that beautifully, apparently. But it's my joy in life is having people light up on the inside when they realize who they are, when they do some of the exercises in the book or in the program. And there's one that I called I Am, or it's called From Invisible to Irresistible. And it's the foundation of learning to face the fact that you're extraordinary with evidence. So it's not just me blowing smoke or sort of showering you with false praise. The work is your work. My job is to help you unearth who you really are. And then the rest of it is just, okay, this is who I am. This is what I'm up against. This is how I've been behaving. This is why I'm behaving like this. I no longer want to behave like this. I now have the confidence and the tools to do something about it when I feel ready. And ultimately, fundamental is to lead your life without apology, excuse, or justification. And for women, that's freedom.
Right. Oh, that is so beautiful. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing in helping women understand these men so that
it is that
there can be better communication and better relationships. And coming from a man, it had to be, right? Because you have to be one to understand, but also then helping women. I love that. That is so
a lot of people
brilliant.
Thank you. Well, a lot of people think this is mansplaining to women about women, and actually it's not. It's a man explaining to women the inside male view of what women have been up against. So many women think that they have a confidence issue. I hear this all the time. I need to be a bit more confident. She's not very confident. If only she could be more confident. And I've come to the conclusion, it's very rarely a confidence issue. It's an adaptation issue. And the women have been taught from birth. Sweeping statement alert. But the patriarchal message for women, be small, don't make the men uncomfortable, don't speak up, don't be awkward, make the home nice, raise the children, do everything, look after him, appease everybody, make sure everybody's okay. Oh, by the way, have your own life, live the dream, but make sure you're looking after him at the same time. Whereas men get, go earn the money, job done, that's all you have to do. Go and play bridge, go and play poker with your lads. And it's chronically unfair. Chronically unfair. And so it is understanding. And because if you don't understand what you're up against, you will never understand why what you're doing isn't working.
Right. Yeah.
That is what the book's about. And yes, it's about the woman.
Mhm.
Yes, it's about helping her
Mhm.
discover her truth, her
Mhm.
power. Because the other phrase I hear a lot of is give your power away.
Mhm.
Well, the work that I've done, you can't give your power away and it cannot be taken from you.
Mhm.
You can suppress it, you can ignore it, you can have it beaten down, but it's always inside you.
Right.
So the other bit the book kind of does as a theme is it helps reconnect women with their power through their self-awareness,
Mhm.
because you have it all. And let's face it, the only reason men suppress anything is because they're frightened of it.
Mhm. I love that. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, tell us how people can find more information about the program. Do you usually have calls with people, or can they just enroll? And also tell us more about the book. Where can they find it and what can you?
So let's do that in reverse order. So the book
Okay.
is called How to Stop Taking Shit from Insecure Men.
Mm.
Now, provocative title, but
Yes.
when people ask me why it's that title, it's because that's the language women use when they describe what they deal with. And it is
Mm.
very specifically that word. They don't say nonsense issue. They go, same shit, different day. So, and that's going to come out in October.
Okay.
Um, so my website, which is jamesdakin.co.uk, you can find out more information about me and it there. But we're
Nice.
going to have a martyr page. So if you
Mm.
go to jamesdakin.co.uk/martyr, you will go to your very own unique landing page in honor of the work that you do for women around the world, which,
Thank you.
this is my way of honoring you, so to speak.
Thank
And
you.
then if they're interested in the program, there is a surprise gift for them to be able to consider doing that if they would like to there. From a writing perspective, I write on Substack, which is jamesdakin.substack.com. Now, on Substack, I tend to write long form essays very, very
Hmm.
much on these topics,
Nice.
not just for women. I mean, yes, I am hugely passionate about helping any woman stop being powerless in the face of this again. I'm equally passionate about helping men step out of it to help them repair their damage, which we have to do
Hmm.
in order not to become them in the first place or not to
Hmm.
keep doing them. So you can find me there and you can find me on LinkedIn and the normal things.
Wonderful.
But yeah, so if you're interested in the book or the program, that book-wise, it's out in October. If you go onto the website and you want to read the first chapter,
Ooh,
then you'll get an email from me when we launch it, and for 2 days there'll be a practically free version of the book for people that want the whole thing.
amazing.
So they can do that. Otherwise, yes, they
Love
can
it.
come through to me. They can say, they can request sessions with me and so forth, or whatever they would like.
Sounds amazing. I'll make sure and have all of that in the show notes. Super exciting. I love the title. And I'm happy to be a part of the promo team
Well, that'd be
via the
wonderful.
podcast.
Thank you.
Yes, as we empower more women out there, because as we empower more women, we are empowering more men as well.
Well, you know that
Which leads
phrase.
me,
You know
yes.
the phrase. Half the world are women. The other
Mhm.
half are their children.
Yeah.
I keep coming back to that phrase. And,
Mm,
and yes, men have to take the lead. So for,
yeah.
for your women in the audience going, what about men?
Hmm.
Men have to take the lead on this. I don't
Yeah.
excuse them. I
Right.
understand them, but I don't excuse
Hmm.
them
Right.
because they're
I love
adults.
that.
So yes, we have
Yeah.
to do the work. But women, the most potent thing to change a man's behavior is usually the woman standing in front of him, if she knows how to handle the insecure male ego, which is the most fragile creature in the world, by the way.
Hmm.
And if you can understand the insecure male ego, and you understand how to inform it, how to use it, how to influence it, you will improve your life immeasurably. He won't have any understanding as to what you're doing, and he won't understand why his life is improved. Because when you
Hmm.
improve your life as a woman, then everybody, when you elevate your behavior, your way of being as a woman,
Hmm.
everybody around you elevates with you. It's not the same with men necessarily, but it is with women. And that's why it's so important we help more women become empowered.
Yes, I love it. Oh my gosh, I love the work that you're doing. I'm so excited to be connected with you and to stay tuned for when the book comes out. And obviously, as people listen to this after it's come out, they can go and check it out and read it. Thank you so much, James. I love everything that you shared. So much to think about, and so much more work to be done, right?
Indeed.
Out
Yes.
there. I appreciate you in our conversation. And yeah, I hope more people will connect with you and take advantage of the amazing work that you're doing out there.
Well, hopefully, because we do need more empowered women. And
Yes,
by an
we do.
empowered woman, what I refer to, as a man, what I refer to as an empowered woman is a woman who can live life on her terms.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so
Safely.
much.
My absolute pleasure, Marta. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.